Got some breaking news. In a hearing that just ended, a California judge did not terminate the Britney Spears conservatorship, but she gave her something that she has been fighting for, freedom from her dad. Judge Brenda Penny named an accountant named John Zabel, who Spears and her lawyer had requested, to temporarily manage her estate as her new conservator. Judge Penny calling the suspension of Jamie Spears as conservator as, quote, in the best interest of Britney, called the environment surrounding the conservatorship, quote, toxic. But what I still don't get is if she can decide on her lawyer and now her conservator, why does she need a conservatorship at all today? Now, it does seem like that conservatorship could still be over soon. There's going to be a new hearing on November the 12th to determine if that conservatorship ends. The pop star's dad in this case, Jamie Spears, has controlled the conservatorship, at least in part, since its implementation in 2008. He said he's okay with ending the conservatorship, but if it was going to continue, he objected to the new guy, Zabel. He lost that argument today. Britney has called the conservatorship abusive. Her attorney celebrated the judge's decision.
Today is a great day. It's a great day for Britney Spears, and it's a great day for justice.
So I talked about this last night, and today's ruling leaves me with some of the same questions. There's now a temporary replacement conservator. What don't we know, though, still about Britney's condition? Meaning, why aren't they ending it immediately? Remember what she was talking about in court? Remember how bad she was saying it was? Now, protesters today in California marched in support of her. Politicians have been getting into it, calling for conservatorship reform, et cetera. And, I still have those questions. And hopefully, attorney Andy Mayoras has some answers. He's worked on numerous cases surrounding conservatorships and asset disputes. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. All right, so they're characterizing this as a big win, right? You get this new conservator there who's overseeing Britney's life. And there's going to be another hearing in a month from now. But if you listen to Britney Spears in court the other day, and I'm going to play in a minute some sound of it, she sounds like she needs out of it immediately. And yet no one on her side, her new lawyer, is rushing to end that. Why? And what does that tell us about what we don't know?
Well, Dan, I think there's really two reasons. First and foremost is Britney and her lawyer want to now use the conservatorship in her favor to help them in their investigation and pursuing claims against Jamie Spears and perhaps others involved in the conservatorship. So Jamie Spears and his lawyer were actually asking the court today to terminate the conservatorship today. Britney's lawyer opposed that because they want to use the conservatorship process to help get ready to assert those claims. That's reason number one. And number two, it's very hard when you're dealing with this much money, this much in assets, and these many business decisions to face to transition all at once. So the next several weeks are going to be a wind down period and a transition process to put steps in place so Britney can take control of her life and her finances again. Remember, today's hearing was just about conservatorship of the estate, the financial issues. So those issues do need some time. Britney, I believe, will be put back in control of her own finances, but it's going to be on her timeline and her lawyer's timeline, and it will work out better for her in the end this way.
All right, I get that on the conservatorship with regard to the estate, right? It takes some time. You don't want to, unravel things too quickly. The more important one to me is the conservatorship of her person. Meaning, as you know, typically to have a conservatorship, you're talking about someone with like dementia or someone who really can't make decisions at all for him or herself. And yet what I don't get is based on what Britney Spears said in court about this and about being controlled and about people watching her, et cetera. If she's fine to now move on, why didn't her lawyer ask months ago? Why didn't her lawyer demand that the conservatorship over her person end immediately?
Well, Jamie Spears is not in charge of Britney Spears' person. He does no longer has the authority to make her non-financial decisions, medical placement, et cetera. That is coming. I do believe that's coming. But clearly, Britney and her legal team are more comfortable with Jody Montgomery, the conservator of the person, and feel like they can address that situation in good time. They wanted to go after what they viewed as the bigger problem, which was her father. And of course, that was mission number one, job accomplished today. But they will transition to all of it. I'm confident of that.
But again, why do you have to choose between them? I mean, you make it sound like, oh, they have to focus on one at a time. Again, based on her own words about wanting out of this immediately. She doesn't want a medical examination. She wants it to go. She wants it to end. And yet her lawyer hasn't been asking for it to end, at least not yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly the legal strategy behind why they chose to attack it this way. I can only surmise that this obviously has been a 13-year process, and any efforts, and they've been limited, but the limited efforts that Britney has tried in the past have not gone well for her. So her lawyer probably developed a strategy that was going to target the greatest problem first, Jamie Spears. And once he's out of the picture, getting the conservatorship of the person to end, getting the conservatorship of the estate to end, is going to be much easier with Jamie Spears out of the picture.
Yeah. And my take on this is that there's still a lot we don't know. And I think that that's part of the answer here, which is there's a reason that this conservatorship started. There's a reason, in my view, that her lawyer hasn't been demanding immediately that it end. And I think we're going to learn more about that as well. Andy, great stuff. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Oh, you got it.